A year can make all the difference in the world. How are you? Glad to have you with me. Lauren Shahadi taking you around the world of baseball, one team at a time. It's all about the Rockies right now. A year ago, Colorado on the up and up after making it all the way to the 2007 World Series. But in 2008, things fell apart, starting with shortstop Troy Tulowitzki, who suffered through a dismal 2008 campaign due to injuries and frustration. The Rockies enter this season without closer Brian Fuentes, who signed with the Angels, and outfielder Matt Holliday, who is now in Oakland. Can they make yet another turnaround in 2009? Let's check in with Scott Miller in Arizona. Scott?
Thanks. We're here with the Colorado Rockies in Arizona today, and no team's fortunes have changed as much from last spring to this spring as those of the Rockies. A year ago, Colorado was coming off of its 2007 World Series appearance, had a young pitching staff they expected the world from, and they thought, hey, we're going to repeat. 08 is going to be great. And then it just turned to dust on them. Some key injuries, some guys not playing up to expectations, and it all collapsed. Poster boy, not all his fault, but a good example of what went wrong with the Rockies is shortstop Troy Tulowitzki. He was a postseason hero in 07, and then last year, right out of the gate almost, about a month into the season, he suffered a terrible quadriceps injury that ruined the first half of his season, or the first couple months just about. And then when he came back from that, he was scuffling along at the plate. He was frustrated. He wasn't playing as well as he thought, and he put himself on the disabled list for a second time by angrily slamming his bat into the ground. It broke, and it lacerated his hand. That pretty much was the Rockies of 08. Injuries and then frustration. Now, they've lost Matt Holliday. Contract situation was unresolved, so they traded him to the Oakland A's. They lost closer Brian Fuentes to free agency. Some key losses. They hope to have recovered from those, but it's never easy around the Rockies. One winning season in the last 8 years. Now, in Holliday's place in left field, they think Seth Smith is going to win the job. Seth is a second-round pick from the 2004 draft. They've got a bunch of bodies lined up behind him, guys like Ian Stewart, Matt Merton, Dan Ortmeyer. Seth Smith, if he wins the job, he's not going to put up the home run numbers Holliday did, but he's more of a gap hitter. He'll probably hit a lot of doubles, and that's just fine with the Rockies. They think one reason they also went backwards last year is because guys tried to force things. Manager Clint Hurdle says we got away from doing things in 07 where it was a team-first attitude. Instead, guys started to try to force their 07 numbers into 08, and they worried too much about that. And Hurdle said basically, we didn't handle the pressure very professionally at all. So we'll see if Smith wins the left field job. Another position battle is to replace Brian Fuentes as the closer. They acquired Houston Street from the Oakland A's, and in-house Manny Corpus is competing for the job as well. Street and Corpus probably will take that battle late into the spring. Hurdle says he'd like to make a decision on who his closer will be with about maybe a week to go before opening day. There's some questions in the bullpen because Taylor Buchholz, a key reliever, went down this spring, and so they're going to have to worry about who's going to pitch the 8th inning, the 7th inning, as well as the 9th inning. Aside from the closer situation, rotation-wise, the Rockies last season, their ERA, their pitching staff ERA, ranked 15th in the 16-team National League. They need more innings out of their starting pitchers, and they didn't get good news this spring when starter Jeff Francis went down with an injury, and he's probably lost for the season. Now, Aaron Cook will top the rotation. Solid guy, sinker baller, working on his secondary pitches this spring, and so far that's going pretty well. After Cook, Ubaldo Jimenez, a hard thrower, young hard thrower, strikeout guy, starred in the 07 postseason, and then he was one of those guys in 08 the Rockies thought is going to help lead us back to the promised land, and he was inconsistent as well. But Jimenez, follow Aaron Cook, and then Jorge De La Rosa, acquired from Kansas City, Jason Marquis, and beyond them, Fifth starter is another battle. Greg Smith, who they got from Oakland in the holiday trade as well, is the leading candidate to win. They've got 5 or 6 names behind him pushing. As Hurdle says, you rarely get through the season with 5 starters. We're going to need 7, 8, 9 of them anyway. So out of that group, guys like Glendon Rush, Jason Hirsch, Josh Fogg will come another starter as well. Todd Helton has been the face of this franchise for a long, long time. He didn't have a good year last year. His back bothered him. He's coming off back surgery. He is looking good this spring. They're happy with Helton's back. Ryan Spilborghs is going to be the leadoff guy. They lost Willie Tavares. They opted not to bring him back. They wanted to go in a different direction. Spilborghs, they think, is a smart hitter at the plate. He's going to take some pitches. He's going to work things, and he's smart on the bases as well. Tulowitzki at shortstop is healthy. They're looking for a big year out of him. Garrett Atkins at third base. Some of the names are the same. They just hope for different results. They better get them. Manager Clint Hurdle and General Manager Dan O'Dowd both are entering the last season of their contract. So there's an urgency to win and win now in Colorado. But as I say, 1 winning season in the last 8 years. That's not a great track record. With the Rockies in Arizona, Scott Miller, CBSSports.com.
Scott, thank you so much. Like you said, this is a pivotal year for the Rockies, who have 1 winning season in the last 8 years. With all the attention on Manny and LA, maybe the Rockies can surprise some people in the less than stellar NL West. Thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon.